Hello race fans, hope you're doing well and welcome once again. First off, hope you had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. So sorry it's been a little while since my last upload. The end of 2021 it was difficult to come up with content since a lot of the various series were coming to an end, but for 2022 we're aiming to push out the boat a little bit more, do a bit more motorsport content, and who knows, this might be the best year for Rob Shadow Racing and get a decent number of subscribers and content out there. So this first video of 2022, it's going to be a bit of an awkward one because I've got my envelope here with all the predictions I made in about February or March last year about who would win which drivers would win in their respective championship. But I never filmed myself doing that. So as far as you guys know, this could have been written, I don't know, last month or something. But I know I got a few of these wrong, so don't worry, I haven't cheated my way through this video. These were genuine predictions. I just never went ahead and filmed them. But we're opening them for the first time today, and so that we do it right for 2022, I'm gonna write down my predictions for the 2022 champions at the end of this video also. So that will be exciting. And but first of all, let's get this over with. See what I was on and what I was thinking in the early parts of 2021. Who would win the Drivers' Championship in these? Let's open that. Right, well, here you are then. First one I pulled out, F1. I was wrong on that, clearly. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to think about what I was thinking at the time for well, if we'd had pre-season testing by that point. Yeah, obviously, I honestly can't remember choosing that because I think I was rather encouraged by how Red Bull were doing in the pre-season testing and how they looked like they were the best car. So yeah. Well, obviously, I thought Lewis would hang on for championship number 8, and for all but one lap, in the end, it was not to be. So I haven't really talked about that on this channel as of yet. So yeah, I hope we're all still. I hope those of us who were upset, delighted over the outcome of last year, I hope they're okay, and that's it's not taken over their lives like I know some people have. But yeah, yeah, an interesting end, and I do. Obviously, you can tell from the shirt, I wore this because he ultimately was the 2021 championship, debatable or not. For Lewis, yeah, I mean, he's no longer my favourite driver. He's low down, but so is Max actually. But I really wanted it to be someone new. But yeah, for that ending, yes, I do feel genuinely bad for Lewis. That's the way it panned out, and if he does retire, it'll be a real shame. And yeah, for it all to end that way, yeah, I do sympathise with him, but I understand his reasons for leaving. But I hope that's not the case. So we move on to slightly better. Next one. For Tory cars, I predicted Alan Morgan. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I mean, I very high expectations for him. He's a really good, gifted driver in that team. It's been his own team for years now. I think this year will be like the 10th year he's worked under his own family name, and they were switching to BMWs for 2021, and I fully expected he would match all the WSR BMW drivers. And Morgan, yeah, he seemed to be out in no man's land at some point in 2021, but it was the case for both of them. So yeah, I had real high expectations for Morgan in 2021. Got one win, I think, at least one, and a few podiums here and there. But yeah, not what you expect from a BMW that pretty much took over the top step of the podium when it first came into the championship. So yeah, I had high expectations for Morgan, but I'm sure he has up and down seasons, but he picks himself up very well in the end. So yeah, I'm sure 2022 will be way better for him, and his second year driving that very fast BMW. We'll move on now to come on, out you come. Now on to NASCAR. We're doing this in good order, I think. These are genuinely my top 3 favourite motorsports. For NASCAR, I predicted Kevin Harvick for his second championship in the Stewart-Haas Racing number 4. Yeah, a real dip for himself and the whole team that year. A real surprise, and not getting a win for, not sure when the last time it was. I'm not familiar with the the nowadays statistics of NASCAR. But yeah, real difficulty after the real heartbreak of 2020, the way it panned out for him. Chase living up to living up to what we expect from it. Just real unfair endings. And I agree with what he says. This isn't the same as the championships that Petty and Earnhardt won. Yeah, real shame. But I think Stuart Haas Racing, if they've left 2020 2021, if they're planning on saving up for the new car this year, saving all the development for that, and it improves this year. I fully expect we'll get way better from Harvick this year. Formula E's next up, and I came close. I got the right team, but not the right driver, Vandoorne. No, in the end, it was indeed Nick De Vries, and very good sophomore season for him. Very impressive. Definitely living up to the very high expectations I know a lot of people have. I'm fairly half and half on the guy, but Vandoorne, really did expect a lot from him in the Mercedes. He was really unlucky last year. I think he's definitely the one with the least amount of luck, and probably would have been challenging. Would have been De Vries' biggest challenger had he had more luck. Always a quick qualifying driver. Even in the situations where he was one of the first ones out in the group, being high in points. But the new qualifying format for this year might really favour him, and we'll actually have a genuine fight between Mercedes' Formula E drivers. So I'm looking forward to that, and stuff will again like these other ones I mentioned, we're expecting a lot better from. I think the last two are here, and so we've got F2 and F3, and I predicted my fellow Robert, fellow first namer, Robert Schwartzman. Again, right team, wrong driver. So unfortunately, but yeah, Robert was very close, and I think I underestimated Oscar Piastri, to be honest. I remember him being I think I first came across him in British F4, and that's one of the good things about watching that sport is you see all these drivers who you see them do that, you see them do well, and then 2 or 3 years down the line, you see them in F3 and F2, and you get a general idea of how good they were. And Piastri, I remember him being okay in British F4, not great, but clearly now seems to be the best thing since sliced bread right now, and he was very dominant compared to Schwartzman, who came second in the end. So a very good year for Prema. Once again, they are dominating. They've taken the single-seater world by the junior categories by storm right now. So very exciting time for them, and I hope they go further. Not just in junior series. I hope they go all the way. But Roberts, can't quite remember what he's doing next year. Is it endurance? I don't know. But whatever he does next, I wish him all the best. It's his F1 dream might not be as likely right as now. Had he won the F2 championship last year, I think that would have definitely boosted his chances. No matter for Robert. So whatever he does next, I'm going to follow him. I'll be cheering him on. It's a great first name to have. And he is a great driver. He's going places in the world. It might not be F1, but he's somewhere, and he should be. And finally, we have F3, and it's happened again. Right team, wrong driver. From Prema, Arthur Leclerc. And again, I underestimated the driver who did win, Dennis Hauger. And again, I remember him being, along with Jack Doohan, because they were teammates, they both had the Rebel sponsored cars, and I remember them being equal, but not quite able to match who did win the points that year? Kieran Dewis, that was it. And Kieran Dewis now actually racing in Porsches right now, which is probably why all of you are thinking, who the hell was Kieran Dewis? But anyway, Doohan and Hauger were okay in British F4, but now they're this last year in F3 they were the best of the best and dominated the points, and Doohan obviously helped try and get the team championship, and Leclerc, I don't know, had real hit and miss driver this year, but he's back with them again this year, and a real contender for the 2022 championship, and he's a strong consideration for the predictions I make. So that's all my 6. So Adam Morgan I predicted for British touring cars, but I was wrong. It was in fact Ash Sutton. For F1, Lewis Hamilton, but it was in fact Max Verstappen. In NASCAR, I predicted Kevin Harvick, but it was in fact Kyle Larson, so I was one number out. Formula E, Stoffel Vandoorne, but Nick De Vries in the same car, Arden Leclerc in the Prema. It wasn't Dennis Hauger in the end, and Robert Schwartzman for F2, but it was his teammate Oscar Piastri. So that was a great year for predictions. Yeah, I think I don't think we need this. Hopefully that's all bad luck, save for 2021 and 2022. We'll have slightly better luck in terms of predictions. So let's get on with putting them down. Right, so I've got my 8 motorsports written down. I know I had 6 before, but for this particular occasion, I'm going to add W Series and Extreme E to the table. Please note these aren't the only motorsports I watch. There are others, but I only watch through passing. So World Rally Championship, World Endurance Championship, MotoGP, Speedway Grand Prix. What's the others? All the support championships in touring cars, IndyCar. Indy Lights, NASCAR Xfinity, Craftsman Truck. You know, like I'm a fairly open, very open to new things. But these are the 8 championships that are the easiest to follow for me personally. So that's why I'm gonna choose these. And if I do choose any of those series I'm not very familiar with, I'll probably make a really dumb prediction that you'll all laugh at the end of this year. So we'll start off with my firm favourite series for the moment, the British Touring Car Championship. We're coming to the end of January now, and it's usually February and March that we get all these bonkers driver announcements and driver changes. But actually, surprisingly, we've had quite a few interesting announcements already. Napa Racing have bought 2 Motorbases Ford Focuses. To the surprise of no one, Cammish is coming back, and he's side with them. I mean, after dominating Porsches, of course he was going to come back. But to the surprise of everyone, Sutton is Cammish's teammate, so that's exciting. The two of touring cars' current best, the best in recent years, are united, and we should have a really good battle between the two. It's just a real surprise for Sutton, considering after just 2 years in that Xfinity, and in both those years he was the drivers' champion. So I don't know, it just seems a real surprise move, and to move to, admittedly the Ford has been excellent since it came in 2 years ago, but you know, Sutton seems to thrive in rear-wheel drive at moments, and I think this move might well be like when a few years ago when Turkington left BMW to go to Team BMW, the Volkswagen, a front-wheel drive car. Again, that was a good car, one of the best that year. It just wasn't the best car for Turkington. I'd say that car suited Plato way better. And then when they switched to the Subaru, the rear-wheel drive, a year later, it flip-flopped. Plato was towards the back, Turkington was the flagship driver for that team. So yeah, some drivers just suit certain types of car better. So it'll be a real test for Sutton, because the only time he drove it was in that aging MG in his first season, and he was good at times, but nowhere at other times. So it'll be interesting. And then, of course, other announcements: Ingram staying at XLR8, Tom Oliphant taking a sabbatical. A few others, Ollie Jackson and Sam Osborne are filling in the other 2 Motorbase seats. And then we thought, where's Jake Hill going? He's going to BMW, of course, so that's a very exciting development. Apart from that, I don't think there are too many other mentions, so we can only fill in the gaps from there. But yeah, I think I'm pretty confident with my guess for this one. I've got a good feeling about this one, and this person should be just as close as the ones I've written down before. Hopefully closer than Morgan was in touring cars last year, but here's my pick for 2022. Moving on to NASCAR now. Real unknown heading into this year with the new car, these very interesting new cars with the slick rear wings. It'll be a real tester, and a question of which teams and which manufacturers have got it the most right. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, it could be any of them. So not really sure. I mean, Hendrick were a real high in the last 2 years. That both 2 of their drivers have won their championship. Some Ford and Toyota teams, they slip back a little bit in other years. They might be saving all their energy for this year with this new car. Good opportunity for them. So it's a real tough one. I think not quite as easy to predict as the touring cars one. Yeah, tough one. Nope. I think I'm gonna play it pretty safe. I'm gonna base it on the chance that this is a team that has been building up for this year as their golden opportunity. So F1 is next, and again, no guarantee as to what kind of season we lay ahead. I mean, people are fully expecting it to be carbon copy of 2009. One team gets it absolutely spot on, it's dominating the first half of the year, and then maybe, hopefully similar to 2009, a season I quite enjoyed, not just because Jenson Button won, but because of how close it was in the closing stages. That was a nice additive. So yeah, difficult to call really for which team will get it right, but I'm going to follow what most people are expecting. You know, one team like Ferrari, McLaren, or Alpine, like one of those teams that's held back a little bit in 21, be going on the full push in 2022. I'm going to go. I think maybe one of them. So here is my pick for now for F2, and of course equal cars. A few people from quite a lot of the 21 drivers sticking around for this year, and mostly in the same team. So that could be that'll create interesting some interesting scenarios there. Yeah, Prema, they have some good drivers in there, but I think I'm gonna derive from what most people are expecting there. I'm going with someone else. F3 next. Again, a lot of rookies, and not many people stick around from previous years, but with Trident and Prema actually swapping places for a change in the team championship last year, that creates some interesting scenarios. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one again, but I'm gonna make a pretty conservative, safe call. I think. Move over, gents. It's W Series' turn, and again, we don't know too much about drivers as of yet, so we're only gonna. I think I'm only gonna base this on who automatically qualified after finishing in the top 8 this particular year. We don't know a lot of rookies testing out in the state in Arizona right now. I think I'm not sure, but anyway, a lot of new faces we might see in this year in this year's championship. It could be really exciting. We don't know if Chadwick is coming back. We don't know if Powell is coming back. We yeah, real unknowns right now. But I'm going to base it on who qualified in that top 8. You know, got the money, but we'll be aiming to improve on that in 2022. So I'm going to go with. Now for Formula E, first races this weekend. That's why I chose this particular weekend to make this video. Don't know if I'd have uploaded it by the time, before or after the race, but it's not on the envelope. 27th of January. That's when I filmed this, so you'll know I'm not cheating. I didn't write this after the first race of the year. So anyway, Formula E. Not much you can predict for this year again. New qualifying format, a few new venues. Not sure which teams are looking the strongest from the testing. It looks just as close as ever. So, yep, I'll go with this guy. Finally, we have Extreme E. Not too many driver announcements as of yet, but several team confirmations. McLaren are entering the fray this year. X44 have announced Loeb and Gutierrez again. Veloce announced their teams. I imagine RXR will want to keep the same team to help them get the championship last year. So all very exciting. New venues, new tracks. You know, new venues. Let's just say that. Yeah, they are. It's complicated with Extreme E. I think hopefully the second season will grab even more people's attention. I was quite impressed with the first year, but yeah, hopefully better venues with more of a natural race and a general idea for best teams and drivers overall. But the team, emphasis, not the drivers, that I'm thinking of for Extreme E, I think, yeah. And here we are, all the predictions all cut up, placed in here. Now to seal the envelope. And that's the end of that. I'm going to find a very safe spot to put that in for the next 11 or 12 or so months, and we'll see. You'll have to wait until the end of until that period for me to find out what I wrote down. It's very exciting. That's all we've got time for today. Let me know which series you're looking forward to most. If you have any predictions for those various championships, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read them. Let me know any video requests for this year. I really want to expand my interest this year, go fully out there with the content, and you know, it's gonna be a very good year for Rob Shadow Racing. Who knows? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you have not done so already. I'd love to have you aboard, and thanks for watching. As always, I will see you next time.